The GDP of the United States just crashed. The Atlanta Fed just put out the first quarter estimates for the United States. Just 4 weeks ago, it was 3.9 positive. Just came out negative 2.8%. That is a 6.7% swing. What is going on? That's a tragic number for any economy, and this has got really big implications. I do think a few people, Goldman came out and mentioned that they think that there's possibility that this is because of gold. But what people are missing as to why did gold cause this? Why is this happening? And why is no one even talking about why is so much gold coming into the U.S.? So let me explain. You know, if you've been following my X since late January, and I'm pretty new here still, I've been talking about and addressing really ahead of schedule how much gold has been actually on airplanes flying into the U.S. And it's incredible. It is so incredible. And now we're causing all types of shortages and delays of metal all over the world. And what's really interesting, so when gold is imported into the United States, it's counted as an import, but it's not considered an economic good. So it reduces that GDP number. So all this insane amount of gold coming into the United States is dropping the U.S. GDP. Now you got to factor that these economic factors are huge indicators for all economies around the world. Why would the U.S. government allow a private party to do so much gold imports that they would potentially disrupt their economic figures to this level? One step further, let's talk about the London Bullion Market Association, the LBMA. We've heard about the Bank of England shortages of delays, getting stuff out, taking 2 months. If this was a normal private party, you're going to get a knock on the door from the CFTC, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. This happened to the Hunt brothers with silver around 1980. This also happened in the 90s with George Soros. And then after that, Warren Buffett himself as well. So if any institution, company was involved in so much metal activity that it was disrupting institutions at this level, they're not going to allow it. So who is this entity? And that's what the mainstream is totally missing. It's the U.S. government. At what level? And then the next question is why? Why is all this gold coming here? Well, you've seen Elon Musk, right, talking about auditing. Trump is talking about auditing Fort Knox. Is the gold there? Is it not? Perhaps they are reshoring the gold. Maybe if there was some of it missing, is it now going back in? I don't know for sure. Are we seeing some kind of concern? Often gold moves. If you go back in history, gold moves before major conflicts. And oftentimes, I think we saw this with France, with the Germans, sometimes that gold has to move in the middle of the night. You don't want to do that. Obviously, you're hearing about the army of Europe starting, Is gold going to a better jurisdiction where it's going to be treated better? Possibly. Or is all this gold coming over here because there's going to be a new reason? So we all know that we're not on a gold standard. What a lot of people don't realize, we've only been off the gold standard for roughly 50 years. Richard Nixon took us off completely just over 50 years ago. So we're in an experiment, and it's failing. It's broken. You've heard the terms Great Reset. I don't know how gold will be used. We will not use it at the grocery store. However, will there be a gold backing? Will there be a gold peg? Will there be a gold bond issued? I mean, there's so many different scenarios that is taking place. But what you cannot, what you can't miss is what the mainstream is missing is why this is this is just an extreme amount of metal moving, and the implications are just absolutely gigantic. And I'll tell you, the retail public is still fairly quiet. I did mention just about a week ago that the retail market is shifting. So the retail market all over the world has been net sellers of precious metals over the last year plus. It just shifted. A lot of that melt material has gone into the hands of the banks. It's going into the COMEX. I'm going to post some charts that are going to show you how much gold is actually being flown into the U.S. I think there could be a gold renaissance coming. What does that mean? I think people are waking up. It was on Tucker Carlson. Elon Musk is talking about on Joe Rogan. What is going on with gold? But there's no hype, people. There's no hype for consumers running out and buying insane amounts. Some of you probably watching, maybe you've been stacking for a long, long time. But I think what people are starting to realize is gold does matter. And I think we're going to find out more about silver as well. But gold does matter. It's going to be a big thing. It's on the balance sheets of the central banks, and they're adding to it. Don't let the politicians that say, hey, we should sell it and buy different things. There is a race going on. The BRICS nations started it right after the Ukraine war broke. And now the U.S. is countering and bringing in an awful lot of gold. So gold is going to be a hot topic as we go forward. I don't know what's going to happen with shortages and all these things that are happening, but what a time to be alive. If you're tuning in, this stuff is pretty epic. I'm going to post some charts just below this so you can kind of see what's happening with the GDP and all these things that are taking place right now. Thanks for tuning in. We're ahead of schedule. Let's keep sharing info together. Thanks.